Hey, what's up you guys? It's me, Christy, and I'm here with my 2017 wrap-up book 60 to 65. And this kind of sort of takes place towards the end of September and the beginning to middle-ish of October. So I was supposed to read scary books in September and Own Voices in October. So I ended up only reading a few scary books, and that was in my last wrap-up. This one, I was in a buddy read with Lian from Lian's Library. We decided to buddy read Scarlet by Marissa Mayer, which is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles. And I've had this book for a while now, and I haven't read it. And you can tell by you see that thingy there? It's because when you buy books in the Philippines, they're usually wrapped in plastic. But this one was wrapped in plastic, so it's mostly okay. But the reason why that stain is there is because that's the part of the plastic that didn't cover it. So it's like shelf stained. So you can see that right there. And anyway, without buddy reading this with Lian, I would have never gotten to this for sure. And I actually had a sort of emotional connection to this book because Scarlet is close with her grandmother, and I am close with my grandmother. You can even say she raised me. Her and my great-grandma. I was raised by a really strong Spanish woman, so lots of sass. Anyway, I just really like this because her emotions towards her grandmother are the same I have towards mine. So it was just like a gut punch. But that's it. I just liked it for that. I didn't even like it for the romance. I didn't like it for anything else. That's just it. Just her connection to her grandma. And then I figured, you know, while I'm on it, might as well finish, because this is the last book I have, which is Cress, and you can still see the bookmark there. Anyway, you can also see that here. That's all the space that the plastic didn't cover, so now we have all that shelf stain. But yeah, I didn't like this book. I just read it to finish it already because it kind of felt like if I was to sell it and not read it, I would kind of regret it. So I wanted to know if I was gonna miss anything, and I didn't miss much. I think Cress is cute. That's it. I really don't want to continue with the series. I just read this because I was already on a roll with Scarlet. So now that I'm done with it, I think I won't be continuing the series, but I'm glad I finally read it. And now we're already into October, so I picked up Monstrous by Leslie Tenorio, which is a series of short stories based on Filipinos and diaspora and how they also like how life is in the Philippines. And I don't know, I just really like this. I like this a lot. There's something about the pacing and the way that the stories are structured that you just get it. Like, I'm not sure if a foreigner who hasn't grown up in the Philippines would get it, but I would recommend this over, I think, any other thing that I read this month for if you want to read about Philippines and the culture and stuff. I mean, this isn't exactly like an exact historical account, but I think that the stories are relevant to how some people experienced martial law or getting out of the country for a better life. So yeah. The main one that I really liked was Felix Taro, because it was really disturbing and pretty cool. I don't really want to spoil it because I think you should just go into it not knowing much. But yeah, that's it. And then you've got Dog Eaters by Jessica Hagedorn, which it was okay. I rated it high because I could really relate to the fact that usually when stuff happens in the Philippines, it has this really weird way of having so many puzzle pieces that come together, but it's kind of like a mess. So that's how I would describe this. It's not really a mess, but it's just a bunch of puzzle pieces that fit together nicely. It's told in non-linear form, and there are too many characters, but it's almost like this story doesn't really have a point. The plot doesn't have a point at all. But I can totally see where it's coming from, and not just that, but at the end though, there's this one chapter that totally makes me think that the author totally becomes unreliable, and I don't see the need to do that. But at the same time, I see why she did that, but it was just, it confused me, kind of. But, but like, on another note, the way that she would describe, like, I would say, she had this one sentence, like, they had a car the color of old money. I'm like, that really just describes, like, the older generation of, like, I would say, like, the upper class, older generation of Filipinos who have, like, a lot of Spanish blood or foreigner blood, and how they would sort of, like, relate to the rest of the people in the Philippines. And it's just, I don't know how to really describe it, but it's just, I get where she's coming from with this book, but at the same time it feels like you're just sort of reading it and it feels like a mess, but it makes sense if you know where she's coming from. So that's all I really have to say about this one. And last but not least, I'm not done with Own Voice. I still have about a couple more, but I really am enjoying Own Voice October. And the last one I've got, and this belongs to my book BFF, and that is In the Country by Mia Alvar. And I just finished this last night. And the thing about this, though, is that the stories lasted just a smidge too long. The pacing was a bit slow, and I got bored. Like, after every short story, I just needed a break because it just felt like too much. Unlike Monstress, it was just right, enough to leave you wanting more, but at the same time you're not, like, oversaturated. I would suggest, I think, yeah. My favorite one here was a story actually called White Lady, which is a funny play on words. It's a funny play on words about the monster that we have here in the Philippines that we call the White Lady. She's basically this woman who got hit by a car on a street, and then she died, and then now she haunts drivers who are, like, driving down that street in the middle of the night. Michael from Michael Reads actually talked about the White Lady, and we used to have, like, back in school, you know how every school has, like, ghost stories, but, like, my school, they would go, like, it was built on a Japanese, like, war ground or something, and there's so many dead people here, and then they're like, there's a White Lady, so everyone would freak out, and then, like, yeah. But this one was pretty good. I really liked the White Lady because it was short and just right. The author herself spent time abroad, I think, in Bahrain. So she has a few stories about the Middle East here, or, like, Filipinos in the Middle East, and how you have, like, all these OFW stories, and it's really it's nice. Or as well as, like, there are these two stories here that sort of mirror each other. There's one called Old Girl and the other one called In the Country. Old Girl is sort of like, it doesn't mention the Aquinos exactly, but which the Aquinos are the opposition political group to the former dictator. So it's sort of like that family, and then at the end you have the people who were, like, the reporters, and how dangerous. In the Country, a story about the reporter and how dangerous it was during the time of martial law, like, to have your voice sort of cut off, and there's no, you know, misinformation was the way to control the people. But at the same time, I forgot which, oh yeah, here, Dog Eaters. There's a quote here in the book that says, this country runs on misinformation, or is that gossip? But in a sense, it's true, because, like, we have a lot of gossip around here, and some people take it as truth, but, and then the news is sort of like a mess, but that's us, that's the Philippines. I don't know how else to like describe it, especially because, like, I'm from here, so everything seems more intimate for me, for the way I would be describing, like, how other people describe my country. And these are all authors from the Philippines, but they've moved out, and so they write about the Philippines, and it's beautiful, and it just makes me so proud to be a Filipino, because, you know, we have our ups and downs, but it's like, it's our country. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sticking around. If you want to discuss, we can discuss in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.